Hi, it's 1010 the Navigator, and today I'm going to discuss with you the planet Uranus and how it correlates with the Saturn and peoples of Jupiter, or the extraterrestrial species that are now here on this planet. And we can find them scattered across our planet. Those that practice the Islamic religion are from the planet Saturn, and we can see that with their celebration of the Black Cube or the Kaaba. And we can see also the Jupiter celebration when it comes to their festivals and how it correlates with their planet. And I made a video about the celebrations that are taking place, and that is all about finding their home planet and seeing it from this planet so they can remember a time when they were there. And this planet here, Earth, has been promised to them. And we can see that based upon the information that's been provided to us in the book of Revelation. Now, whether you want to believe in Revelation or not is up to you, but I'm going to offer you a perspective, and I pretty much don't have to argue with this because I feel like a lot of us that are here, we know that the Jupiters are taking over this planet. They have Hollywood, they have political control, they have economic control. And I can see that and present it to you, if you want to see it. But we know that it's happening. Now, this particular extraterrestrial species has been promised this planet, which I believe was from Uranus. The group or the extraterrestrial species that the Jupiters work with are from Uranus, which is the place for the gods, is what Uranus is in essence called. Now, Uranus is the father of Saturn and the grandfather of Jupiter. And Saturn does not get along with Uranus or Jupiter, okay? And we can see that here on this planet, those being of the Islamic religion from Saturn do not get along with the Jupiters who practice Judaism. Now, Uranus, the story, we'll go into that, is about castration and the overthrow of its power. Now, we could take this castration in multiple ways. We could look at it as the Grim Reaper. They came in, they destroyed all of the beings on that planet, in particular, all the gods. But we could just take it like this. And this is the two situations that I want to present to you and tie them together. Okay. So as Hesiod tells the story, Gaia, firstborn starry heaven, Uranus, equal to herself, to cover her on every side and to be ever sure abiding place for the blessed gods. Then with Gaia, Uranus produced 18 children, the 12 Titans, the 3 Cyclopes, and the 3 Hectocanocaries, or the 100-handers. But hating them, he hid them somewhere inside Gaia. Angry and in distress, Gaia fashioned a sickle made of adamant and urged her children to punish their father. Only her son, Kronos, or Saturn, the youngest Titan, was willing to do so. So Gaia, or the Earth, hid Saturn in ambush, gave him the adamantine sickle, and when Uranus came to lie with her, Kronos reached out and castrated his father, casting the severed testicles into the sea. Now here you have Kronos, also known as Saturn, with his sickle that his mother made for him or provided to him. And if you follow my channel, there's a reason why certain things go on in these different religions, and we don't understand it. We don't see it for what it really is. Okay, this is just my opinion. This is just an abstract way to look at what is presented. So here's the harp. It is a type of sword or sickle that is used in mythological contexts. Now, here's Jupiter. And Jupiter is a planet that housed those that practiced Judaism. And they're here on this planet and they want this planet. And this planet is promised to them. Okay. Now, the Jupiter's practice, they memorialize and celebrate and do certain things, okay, for allegiance purposes. So Uranus and Jupiter, they don't have disagreements with each other. In fact, they are against Saturn. So the Jupiters, in fact, probably brought circumcision to this planet, even though we can find in history that the Egyptians practiced it as well. But I'm pretty sure, and I can look back in history and find that the Egyptians practiced this once the Jupiters came here, similar to the way Americans practice circumcision. If the Jupiters were not here, the potential for us to circumcise the boys would be a lot less, if at all. Now, we can look at it from a medical standpoint and say that it's healthier to do that. But here's another concept that I want you to think about. If God created this creation and gave you foreskin, why would he want you to take it off? Now, Abraham was the first one to be circumcised, and he formed a covenant with God or Yahweh. And I think that Yahweh came from the planet Uranus, or Yahweh was his grandfather, okay? Was Abraham's grandfather, or the God that the Hebrews or Israelites, now known as the Jupiters, because I do believe that the Jupiters have confiscated the Hebrew religion, but that's the Hebrews lived here first. But anyway, and they just kind of like disappeared. So we have the Jupiters who work with the I was going to call them Eurasians, but the people from Uranus or whatever. Such a strange name anyway, but the Jupiters practice circumcision. And this is because of what happened to Uranus, who was circumcised, castrated, cut off by his own son, Saturn. Now, we could look at it and say, yeah, there's a lot of holes in this story, but there really isn't, because I can show you proof in my other videos that the Saturnians, or those that practice the Islamic religion, they have a black box or cube in Mecca called the Kaaba that they walk around, that has a stone, probably from their planet, because nobody really knows what that stone is made of. It is encased, I think, with silver or some type of metal. And inside of that is a piece of rock from their planet. And the Jupiters, they wear the tefillin on their hand and on their head as a symbol of God bringing them out of Egypt. Now, the Jupiters pray over this and they celebrate. And the Saturnians, when they're at the Kaaba, they are not, in essence, allowed to worship this. They mourn over it. So it's a memorial of what happened to their planet at this time. Now, it could have been because of what happened when the Saturnians castrated Uranus, or something happened on Uranus. I haven't worked all the details out on it yet. But the castration and the circumcising is the same thing. It's a memorialization of what happened to their God. Their God was cut off. The God Yahweh was cut off from the gods and formed a connection with the Jupiters and are now working together to obtain this planet. And this God or this alien species is not all powerful. If it was, it would be able to wipe us out with the blink of an eye. But this planet has been promised to the Jupiters, and they have been promised that they will be able to rule and reign alongside of Yahweh forever. And Yahweh comes in a black cube. So there's that. And sorry, I apologize. I lost where I was. So when it comes to the circumcising of the Jupiters, it is a covenant. It is a remembrance of what happened. The circumcising of their children is a way to show the difference between them and those that are the heathens. Now, here in this country, a lot of men are circumcised, but it's just because it was introduced. And there's supposedly medical benefits behind that. I'm no doctor, so I can't say either way. But I just wanted to show you one other reason as to why the Jupiters and the Saturnians don't get along. It's because of what the Saturnians did in revenge for Earth that potentially caused them to lose their planet from castrating or cutting off the line, the descendants of taking down the gods potentially, and now Jupiter comes into play, and they're being utilized in this game as well to maintain or to restore law, order, and justice, which is what they think is correct. Meanwhile, the rest of us here that live on this planet, we are pawns in this game, and we are not doing what it takes to keep our planet safe. And I've said before, I don't think that anyone really cares where you come from. If you're living here and you like being here and we can share this space, welcome. I don't have any issues with you being here. I don't think you'd have any issues with them being here either. But what I do have an issue with is you coming to our planet and saying, this is our planet and we're going to take it and kill off millions of people, because that's in essence could be billions by the time it happens, because that in essence what will happen. And we can see that there are different extraterrestrial species here that have made their home because of what has happened in the universe, potentially by the Jupiters and their covenant with this god of Uranus, or these gods, or this particular civilization that has some type of technology, but we can see that they're not immortal. We can see that they can be killed, and that they have to wait and use their time wisely. We can also see that there are time wars that take place, and we're just here on this planet worried about the next cyber attack. I am making light of it, but we got to start prioritizing things here. Our own scriptures, that have been provided, And I said our own scriptures, and that being the Sumerian, influence and the Jupiter influence, the Bible, the Talmud, the Septuagint, whatever you want to call it, has been provided. And the Old Testament, in my opinion, are things that have, yes, they have already occurred, but not on this planet. You are watching the devastation and destruction of multiple planets, and then those particular inhabitants come into this planet. It's possible that Jupiter is not destroyed and that there are Jupiter bases all over this universe, whether you want to believe in space or not. Okay? Whether you want to believe the Earth is flat or round, I'm not here to debate all that. We have different species here on this planet, and it is evident through the different blood types. It is evident through the way that we interact with each other, because when you are presented initially with an invasive species and they are similar to you, you watch them and observe them, and you don't quite understand why they're here, what they're doing, but you don't mind them being here because they haven't presented to you an issue. And then it's, once they've been here for a while and they've taken over your home, they've taken over your land, they've taken over everything, and you're like, wow, I didn't see that coming. And then you're finally like, enemies. And then you don't realize it until it's too late. All right, everyone, I hope you're having a great day. And that's just my correlation between these 3 planets and the 3 extraterrestrial species types that could come from these planets. It is possible that the so-called fallen angels came from Uranus. And I'm not saying that all Anunnaki are bad, but they came here to this planet, mated with the women here, created giants or Nephilim, tall whites. And we can see that now based upon this aspect of the gods here in Greek and Roman mythology. And even though Jupiter was celebrated and worshipped, he was just another one of the gods. Rome and Greek people had no problem with accepting new gods. They were polytheistic, I think that's the right term. Whereas opposed to the Jupiters are monotheistic. So, and if we look at these particular gods as actual planets and their people groups, and them coming here to this planet and being represented in bodily form as a symbol, it would just be Zeus would be the simple symbol of Jupiter and the people of Jupiter. Anyway, I hope you all having a great day.